Hi, my name is Tati and welcome to my channel. So even though we're a little bit late, as in end of July late, we are still gonna do this mid-year freakout tag, mid-year book tag, give y'all a little update. I found these questions from this website. I can't even remember what it is, but it'll all be linked in the description. And then I also was watching Valencia Carmilla. She just posted her video and she had like a couple extra questions that I didn't see on the website that I went to. So we're also going to answer like the questions that she has on hers. And also, I just want to show you, like, I did a little spread. I did a spread in my journal for it. So yeah, let's just do a little update and then we can kind of check in on our goals and yeah, see where we go from here for the rest of the year. So I've mentioned it before, but I use Fable to like track my book stats and like the books that I finished and whatnot. So my goal on Fable, but it's my goal for the year, is to read 40 books, which I feel like in the grand scheme of like this whole booktube space, that's like really, really, really tiny. But for me, that has never been done before because I just started getting back into reading in August of last year. So we're coming up on a year. As far as from January to June goes, I'd finished 23 books. We are well on our way. We're halfway through the year and I'm a little over halfway in my goal. I feel pretty good about that. We're going to look at the quarter two wrap up page, which is this one right here. We do have to tweak a couple of things. So I've read 5 romances, 6 romantasy, 2 fantasy, 2 sci-fi. I don't know why we got 1 here and 1 lit fic. And my favorite book of this quarter has been Gleam by Raven Kennedy. But my format that I have read in has been 2 books that I own personally on my shelf, 9 audiobooks, 1 library book, and 3 ebooks, which is something that I'm trying to be better at going into the rest of the year because I think that it's easier for me to read when I'm using it to procrastinate about doing something else because all of summer I haven't taken any classes and I've been unemployed the whole summer. Yet for some reason, it's like I cannot just sit down and read. Yet the whole last 2 semesters, I was like so frustrated that I had to put the book down so that I could like go to class or like do homework or something. So we need to work on that. My average star rating has gone down from quarter one because quarter two it's 3.73 stars and quarter one it was 4.2. Out of my yearly TBR, the 12 books that I wanted to read in 2026, I have read 3 of them. That is something that I need to try to come up on and prioritize that a little bit more because we are halfway through the year, yet I'm only a quarter of the way through that yearly TBR. So we're going to get on that. So that's that for the stats update. And now we can get into the tag questions. So question number 1 is the best book that I've read so far in 2026. And that one I'm going to say, hands down, I feel like if you have watched the video that I did on it, you'd know what it is, but it's Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I love that book. That was the first sci-fi book that I finished and loved it, loved it, loved it down. I did think that it was a little slow in the beginning, but once the momentum came up, I was all over it. Loved it. Loved Rocky, loved Grace. I just really enjoyed the book. I loved the science talk. I loved Grace's humor. I loved Andy Weir's writing and the pacing of the book once we actually started to get into like the meat and potatoes of the story. Loved it. Loved that book down. The best sequel you've read so far this year. I said Gleam by Raven Kennedy. When I first started reading the Plated Prisoner series, starting with Guild, I thought that book was not good. Not very good. But the way that it ended, it made me want to read the second book. So then I read Glint, and that one was better. It wasn't great, but it was better. And during that book is when I decided I'm just going to continue with the series. I'm going to finish it. And then I read Gleam. Well, read is a strong word. I listened to the audiobook for all of these. There's some big books. That's a chunky little book right there. But I listened to Gleam, and baby, that solidified it. Like this right here, I'm in love with this series. I'm loving that our girl Oren is developing her backbone and her voice. I love that Slade is really down bad for my girl. I love all the friends that she's making. I just really love this series. So yeah, Gleam is like the first one where I was like, oh, period. Like, this is it. This is the one. And then, like, y'all already know I've waxed poetic about it already, but I also really loved A Court of Silver Flames. Like, that one was 5-star. I rated A Court of Silver Flames higher than I rated Gleam, but I think that my ratings are all over the place. I don't know if y'all watch Good Mythical Morning. I feel like when it comes to ratings, I am Link. I don't know. I'm gonna like. I feel like sometimes I need like a visual representation of like where I'm feeling so that I can accurately rate the things that I'm reading. But then also, I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like the rating really doesn't mean anything because it is just for me. New release you haven't read yet but want to. There's this book. What did I say? I wrote it down. Burning Down Master's House by Clay Kane. Listen here. I'm not a horror girl. I don't like being scared. I do not like scary movies. Halloween Horror Nights was my own personal hell. But I do want to read this book. I feel like anything having to do with slavery is already like, it's horror. It's horrific. It's terrifying to me. And I really don't want to have any part in it. But I think that the concept of the book of like them revolting and getting back at the enslavers is something I'm really down for. So when I heard about this book, I was like, oh my God, like I do want to read that. But I'm a little scared because I don't like depictions of slavery. Like, oh, it really does something to my spirit. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Obviously, Akatar 6. I mean, I'm not pre-ordering that thing. I'm not about to purchase it brand new. Like, that's not going to happen. But I am very excited for it to come out because I do want to read it. And I'm going to get on that when it gets to the library. So, very excited for that. And there's probably something else, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. And I didn't write it down. But I'm sure that there was something else. My biggest surprise. So a few months ago, I was gonna get into like monster romances because I kept just seeing that. And I like I read fan fiction, right? Specifically Law and Order SVU fanfic. And over there, they like to do Omegaverse. And I'm into that. I like that. That's T. So I was like, oh, this like monster romance thing, I could be into that too. So I was like, let me just pick 3 random ones and read them. And the first 2 were very disappointing. Was not into it. One of them was kind of like a mafia type romance thing, but like the guys were Cerberus, like the 3-headed dog thing. That was I wasn't into that. And there was another one with like this octopus that was living in the lake, and the girl lived on a boathouse on the lake, and then he was like protecting her from whatever was like trying to get at her, and she was protecting him from the mean people in the suits who wanted to come and like gentrify the lake. That one was just okay. But then the third one that I read was called Demon's Bride by Lee Miller. And that one, very, 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 very much so enjoyed that one. And it's about like this group of witches, right? They have a bargain with these demons that are in the demon realm. And it's like every few years or so, one of the witches will be married to one of the demons and then go live over there in the demon realm and like keep the magic up. But then this one girl who was our FMC, she doesn't really have any magic. So when it comes up that she's the one who is like fated to marry the demon, she's like confused because she's like, I don't have no magic, so like what's going on? And then they're concerned because since she don't have no magic, she can't like keep up the magic in the demon realm. And then like the stuff is collapsing, but then they figure it out in the end. So I really enjoyed that, and I added it to my series tracker because it's the first, and there's 3 books, and I was like, I might actually continue with that one. I haven't, but I will. I do plan to. All right, biggest letdown. My biggest disappointment. Yep. That whole Never After series by Emily McIntyre. And I'm so disappointed because, as y'all saw from my, I don't know if you did, but if you haven't, my quarter 1 wrap up, I talked about having read Twisted by Emily McIntyre, which is, I believe, the 4th book or the 5th book in that series. And I gave that one 5 stars. That book was so good. It was so enjoyable. I was along for the ride. It was a little silly, but I had a great time. So I was keyed up, ready to go for the rest of this series. And every single other book in that series, without fail, one after the other, trash, garbage, vulgar for what feels like no reason. Like, she saying out of pocket stuff just for the sake of saying something out of pocket. And yeah, I'm just, I'm not vibing. I'm not happy. I have one book left. I think it's the Lion King one, Scarred. And I think that's the first book from the series, or Hooked, one of them. I just listened to Hooked. So we only have Scarred left. And as you can see, like, I'm really ride or die. But I'm not having a good time. I'm not enjoying them. So yeah, that whole series is really disappointing because of how amazing Twisted was. Favorite author, debut or new to you? We're going to go with new to me because out of the 3 authors that I have read multiple books from, 2 of them were new to me this year, the other one being Sarah J. Maas. The other 2 were Raven Kennedy and Emily McIntyre. And as you've just heard, it's not Emily McIntyre. So we're going to go with Miss Raven Kennedy. It took me a little bit to get used to her writing, or maybe for her to get used to her writing, because like I said, I wasn't really feeling Guild because it felt like she was trying to meet a word count, and she would just go on and on and on and on to describe the smallest little thing. As far as my recollection goes, either she stopped doing that as the books go on, or I've just gotten used to it. But I'm really into it. I really like her writing so far. I really like her books. Well, the Play the Prisoner series. I haven't read her other books, but I'm really enjoying this. So we're gonna go with Raven Kennedy. Newest favorite character. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. It is, number 1 would be Bryce Quinlan from the Crescent City series. I love that girl. I think she is hilarious. She really is the definition of on site means on site. Like, she really is nothing to play with. Also, very special place in my heart, Rocky from Project Hail Mary. He was a cute little rock. And it was killing my sister when we was in that movie theater because everybody's like, oh my God, he's so cute. And she's like, it's a rock. Like, what? It's a spider rock. Like, what are you seeing? And I'm like, but he's cute with his personality. Like, it's cute. And then we have newest fictional crush, which I don't know. I don't really do that, but like if I have to pick one, I'm gonna pick Slade from the Play the Prisoner series. He's just like, he really is that dude. He is very supportive of Oren, and my dog is going to protect her, but also let her do her own thing. He's like really like big and tough. Like, what's not to crush on? But I also do think that the way that he is described, and I've seen like some like character fan art of him, it's a little creepy. I don't like it. The scales on the face, like, that grosses me out because I'm like weird about like skin stuff anyways. But concept wise, big crush. A book that made me cry. I don't get like that with the books. The books don't be making me cry, but I will say a book that did make me sad was Babel by R.F. Kuang. That was the first book that I finished this year. And I do remember, it's been so long, yeah. I do remember like almost crying or getting a little bit emotional because it was like, you can't win. Like, at the end of the day, like, you can't win. They're fighting this whole giant system, and after everything that happened, you still can't win. So it was kind of sad, like what happened to each of the characters. But yeah, that was as close as I got to like crying. A book that made me happy though was, once again, is coming back to the top of the list, Project Hail Mary. I feel like what happened at the end of that book was the best case scenario. Like, I love that. I love what happened for Earth. I love what happened for Grace. I love what happened for Rocky. I think that the ending of that book was like quintessential, like chef's kiss. Loved it. The most beautiful book you've bought or received. We've got quite a list here because I bought some cute books this year. So we're gonna start. Hold on. I even went and grabbed the sleeve for y'all because I left it off the book. We have the first one is Eternal Ruin by Tigges Germa. I think that this sleeve is really cute, but even cuter is the actual raw hardcover itself. Like, this is so pretty to me. The butterflies, the like swirly black. I love like depictions of like smoke. Even though like it's clearly like paint, or I don't know what it is, but it gives smoke, and I love that, and like drawing and stuff. I think this book is beautiful, stunning, 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 stunning. We have Children of Blood and Bone. Hello. Hello, the material. Hello. And What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. This is like these books are so cute. The gold foiling. Love. The whole like Egyptian aesthetic of the whole thing, the little scarabs on the side. Beautiful. What I don't love about this is this like solid sprayed edge, because that just feels like a waste of paint. But the cover of this book is it's so cute. It's so pretty. Like, dang. No, that's hot. I need to take these stickers off. I forgot to do that. How many 5-star reads this year? Let's see. We'll have to do a little counting over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4. And they were Onyx Storm, the second 2 Crescent City books, and A Court of Silver Flames. What books do I need to read by the end of the year? So there's 3 books. So the first one is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. That book has been on my shelf since basically the beginning of me getting into reading. And I keep putting it on like my monthly TBR. I keep pulling it off the shelf and just not opening it. I think I literally have read the first paragraph and then just got distracted. So I do for sure want to get to that before the end of this year. 6 of Crows for sure, because I just keep hearing that the book is so amazing. Like, it's, yeah, top tier. And what was the last one? Oh, Children of Blood and Bone. That book I've been hearing about since before I was ever even into reading. So now that I've finally gotten it on my shelf, I really do want to watch it, especially amidst like the whole drama with this movie that's coming out. And I've seen some of them stills from the movie. Does it not look cheap? I hope that the actual movie doesn't end up looking cheap, but some of these pictures I've seen, I'm a little concerned. Also, Amanda, I think it is. What's with that? At this point, I think they're doing it on purpose. 5-star predictions for the rest of the year. I will predict that I'm gonna predict that 6 of Crows is gonna be 5 stars. Everybody's saying that the book is so good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna go all in with that one. That one is going to be 5 stars. I feel like I'm on a pretty good momentum going into the second half of the year. I'm excited to like continue on this whole reading journey. Classes for this next semester, for the fall semester, start in a couple of weeks. And I'm pretty sure with the way that my mind works, I'm going to be just so in love with reading the second I have other responsibilities. So I just feel like we're just going to keep ramping it up and, taking it to new levels for the rest of this year. So that's where we're going to close it out for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you liked it. Comment down below. How are you guys doing on your 2026 reading goals? And support a Black-owned business, baby. Subscribe to my channel. Bye! If I was your